Hi guys, this is Rachel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about my trip to San Gerardo de Dota, located close to San Isidro in the San Jose region of Costa Rica. So enjoy the video, guys.
Guys, this is Rachel here, and we're here in San Gerardo de Dota, and it's currently raining. So we're currently in one of the largest cloud forests in Costa Rica, and here we have a bunch of moss that grows on the trees, and it's only here in the cloud forest. We're currently on the search for the Queztel.
So the whole point of this trip was to discover the Queztel, which is one of the rarest birds in Central America. It's often looked at as a very sacred bird among indigenous cultures here in Central America, from Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, down here in Costa Rica, and then it's in the upper part of Panama as well. So our goal was to find the Queztel in the wild. We had a bit of a hard time finding it on the hiking trails, but we were lucky enough to actually spot it in the restaurant of the hotel, which was incredibly rare. We were just sitting, eating our breakfast, and then out of nowhere, the Queztel flies by my head as I'm eating and then sits in the tree. And it sat there for about 6 hours, which is not really normal. So we just had a front eye view of the Queztel. It's sitting in the tree. And it's so rare that many of the tour guides, they actually came over to the hotel just to get a glimpse and show their tourists the Queztel, because many times they take the tourist out on a trip about, I'd say, 6 or 7 in the morning to go spot the Queztel. So my camera doesn't actually have a very good zoom in feature, so I was lucky enough that one of the tour guides actually used his telescope and let me take a photo through that. So I was incredibly lucky to actually get my first photo of a Queztel, which normally in the wild it would be really hard unless you have the correct equipment. This was like a huge lifelong dream for me to see a Queztel actually in the wild, not in a reserve where they take animals that have been injured, or in a zoo or anything. So this is an incredibly rare experience. We actually were signed up to the next day to go on a tour that left at 6 a.m. to go and try and see the Queztel, because it currently was the breeding season, so it's more likely to see them. And their breeding season usually is in March and April. And in San Gerardo de Dota, you have a good chance of seeing them, or in Monteverde, or in the Cartago Highland regions. It's best to book your stay a few months in advance if you want to stay at one of the hotels or Airbnbs, because usually March and April are really filled with people trying to come and see the Queztels, because that's kind of the big attraction for this little town. In this moment, the Queztel flies away. I was pretty lucky enough to find an Airbnb last minute that's actually located on the hotel property. Interestingly enough, it's not part of the hotel, so it's a completely separate little apartment. So therefore, I didn't have to pay the prices of the hotel, and I'll link it in the bio above. So it was nice because we got to use all the facilities of the hotels, like their walking trails, look at their gardens. They also have a little place where you can buy plants on property. They have butterfly gardens, they have a restaurant, they have bars. So it was nice to use all those facilities without actually having to pay the prices of the hotel. Besides bird watching, another big attraction for the area is horseback riding. And many of the horseback riding tours, they'll take you down to the local waterfall. They'll also take you through the plantations of apples, coffee, as well as through the mountains. So I'm not much of a horseback rider, but when I was doing the horseback ride tour, I was basically freaking out because we were going down the mountain towards the waterfall, and I thought like the horse or something was going to fall over. So every 5 minutes I was like screaming, yelling, And of course, my instructor, he thought I was a little crazy, but I think he just knew that I wasn't really experienced going down a mountain on a horse because I definitely was uncomfortable with that. But I mean, if you go through the mountains or on the road, you'll be absolutely fine. But if you're a little more skittish of going downwards on a horse, then I wouldn't do to the waterfall. This is my crazy boyfriend who thought it was okay to go swimming in the freezing water, and yeah, he discovered it was freezing. So, one thing I really loved about the hotel and just the little community in general was how cozy it felt. It's like a little getaway in the mountains, so it feels really cozy, and the food there is delicious. Everything is very fresh. They have an assortment of fresh vegetables they get from the mountains there, fresh fruits. They also have a lot of fresh trout in the area from the cold water, so there's also a lot of farming of trout. So everything is very fresh. So you can get trout fillets, you can get trout with avocado. You can get trout in a tartare. It's really delicious, so if you have the opportunity, I recommend trying it, in addition to also trying just any kind of the local flavors they have there. It's all really delicious food. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye!